President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected in Nyeri County today. The president will be attending a church function in Madira constituency, to be precise. According to the program, let me just get the program. According to the program, the president is expected to attend the centennial celebrations of ordinations of the first African elders. Underline that. The first African elders at Tumutumu PCA Church in Madira constituency, Nyeri County. The service will be led by the moderator of the General Assembly, Right Reverend Julius Gwantai Mwamba. That function is going to be significant politically speaking. Because number one, Nyeri County, just like Kisumu, always sets the pace for the politics of the larger central Kenya region. So probably the president is going to set the tone for the Building Bridges Initiative campaigns for the people of central Kenya and the larger Mount Kenya region in Nyeri tomorrow. That's number one. Number two, which is also significant, is the choice of PCA Church. PCA Church is one of the churches which the deputy president had actually targeted. And I'm sure that probably the deputy president was also invited to this function, but because of the high voltage politics, he opted not to attend this particular function. Because remember, the last time the deputy president attempted to attend a church function for the Akorino Church, the handlers of the president engineered some strategies which ensured he didn't attend the event. And number three, Madira constituency is represented in parliament by Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua is one of the biggest critics of President Uhuru Kenyatta from the larger Mount Kenya region, and one of the biggest supporters of the Deputy President William Ruto. So the choice of Nyeri County, Madira constituency, and the PCA Church in general is significant. So tomorrow we will be watching very keenly how the events are going to unfold in Nyeri. And while President Uhuru Kenyatta will be in Nyeri County, his deputy William Ruto will be in Kakamega County. He is expected to attend two church functions in two different constituencies. But one thing is now very clear. The president is now out to tame his deputy and is keen on kicking him out of the larger Mount Kenya region. And those who follow the politics of this country very closely, one thing has been very clear this week. The president was in Kisii, and while in Kisii, he received the Building Bridges Initiative report without the presence of his deputy. And then the president then went to Kisumu. And while in Kisumu, the president launched an attack, direct attack for the first time, on his deputy. And from Kisumu, the president went to Nairobi. And while in Nairobi, he met with border operators. And during that event, the president also warned them against people who are using them and misusing them for his political advantage. Now, from those, it's clear the president is keen on taming his deputy. But I am sure that if the president had made the right moves, political moves, he would have tamed his deputy long time ago. So today I want us to look at the 6 reasons why I strongly believe the president failed to tame his deputy at the right time. But before we go into all those, if you're watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now let us get back to the main issue. The president is now keen on taming his deputy. And the deputy is also strategically evading any encounter with the president. And that's why I'm sure the deputy president opted not to attend the church function in Nyeri. In an ordinary circumstance, the deputy president would have gone to Nyeri and not Kakamega. For those who followed the politics of the deputy president, he would have gone to Nyeri. But now he's not going to go there. So the president is now trying to tame him. But what are the reasons why the president failed to tame his deputy at the right time. In my view, I have 5 reasons. Number 1, I think President Uhuru Kenyatta assumed central Kenya support. The president believed that these guys voted for Mwai Kibaki to the last man. These people voted for him to the last man. And overwhelmingly, over 98% of central Kenya voted for President Uhuru Kenyatta. So Uhuru Kenyatta believed, in my view, that he had these people in his pocket. But he failed to understand that the people of central Kenya also are human beings. They were sold fear. And because they were sold fear, there was this element that Uhuru was going to protect them. And now Uhuru is leaving. Then who is next? Who can protect them? Because in 2022, they were not going to have a serious presidential candidate. So they are now deciding to make their own political choices. And that's why the president failed to tame these guys at the right time. Of course, he also failed to explain to them the handshake. So that's number 1. He assumed that the support he got in 2017 and again in 2013 were going to be automatic. So that when he will command them, I want you to go this direction, they were automatically going to go that direction. So that's the first reason why the president failed to tame his deputy at the right time. Number 2, I also believe that President Uhuru Kenyatta failed to understand the influence of Cambridge Analytica and the negative propaganda against Raila Odinga. This propaganda has been sustained successfully from Mwai Kibaki's time. The president sustained it and escalated it in 2017 by even employing Cambridge Analytica. So the people of central Kenya up to now believe that Raila Odinga is a very bad man, that Raila Odinga is their enemy. So when the president entered into that handshake, he failed to explain to his people why he was entering that handshake. Probably he failed to explain to them because of the first reason, which I was telling you, that he assumed that the support was going to be automatic. 20 years of negative propaganda, including hiring the most lethal team, Cambridge Analytica, just to focus and intoxicate the minds of the people of the larger Mount Kenya region, is not easy and cannot be erased easily by a mere handshake. So I strongly believe that the president ought to have gone further than just the handshake and explain to the people that, you know what happened, we were just in a political competition with my brother, and you know, whatever we did, but the president has failed to do that. So it's going to be very difficult for some of these people. 20 years is a long time. If someone was 5 years when Kibaki was running for the presidency, it means those people actually voted in the last election. And some of these people, there's nothing they've been told other than the fact that Raila Odinga is a bad man. It's just like the children born in Israel and Palestine. Most of them inherit that, Israelis are bad people, Palestinians are bad people, because of this kind of propaganda. So I think the president assumed the influence of Cambridge Analytica and the negative propaganda against Raila Odinga. Number 3, I also want to believe that President Uhuru Kenyatta assumed or underrated the Deputy President William Ruto. He failed to understand that he was dealing with a man who worked under Moi. William Ruto's politics revolved around Moi. Uhuru Kenyatta found William Ruto when he was already entrenched in Kanu as a youth for Kanu. Then from there, President Uhuru Kenyatta failed to understand that William Ruto supported his bid for the presidency in 2002. So he worked with him. He also failed to understand that William Ruto worked with Raila Odinga. He also worked with Mwai Kibaki. And William Ruto again worked with him as the president. And during that time, William Ruto was actually the de facto president of the Republic of Kenya. He was the deputy president, but very powerful. So I think the deputy president was underrated by the president. The president just realized late that this guy, while he was serving as my deputy, he was scheming on how to ensure that in case he's betrayed, how he's going to handle it. In case he's not betrayed, how is he going to move? And he was already focused on his 2022 presidential election. So that's number 3. Number 4 is Jubilee failures. Jubilee failures is also one of the major reasons which has contributed to the president's failure to tame his deputy. Why? Because the deputy president went out there to the people of Central Kenya. He launched so many projects, most of them fake projects, but these people saw him there launching projects. The president was nowhere. The president was not going to the ground. He was not launching projects. He was not even explaining. So despite the fact that we have so many projects which are ghosts, but the deputy president launched them. So President Uhuru Kenyatta ought to have moved very fast to fix some of the issues affecting the people of Central Kenya. They are farmers. Number 2, these people are businessmen. Number 3, just like any part of the country, they also require good roads, they require good schools, they require good hospitals. So it's Jubilee failures. The president is today carrying Jubilee failures. In fact, he's being helped by Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga is also carrying Jubilee failures. But the deputy president has strategically tried to get out of Jubilee. So very few people are today blaming William Ruto for Jubilee failures. And because Jubilee failed, Uhuru Kenyatta has failed to tame his deputy. Number 5, I think President Uhuru Kenyatta also failed to react to the moves by the deputy president early enough. So what's happening today is a deputy president who is already gone to the ground, and the president is now playing a catch-up. There is nothing as difficult as playing a catch-up. In an ordinary circumstance, in my view, President Uhuru Kenyatta ought to have gone to the people of Central Kenya immediately after the handshake. Because even Raila Odinga supporters did not embrace the handshake. But Raila Odinga went there, explained to them. President Uhuru Kenyatta ought to have gone to the ground and explained to these guys the handshake. He ought to have gone to the ground to explain to them the BBI, the Building Bridges Initiative report. Because without doing that, the deputy president facilitated his allies, people like Moses Kuria, Girathi Gachagua, and so many others. And their role was one, just to discredit every other thing which was coming out of the government, any other thing which was coming out of President Uhuru Kenyatta. So because of those, the president is now playing catch-up, something which ought not to have happened. And lastly, and this, so many Tanga guys have been talking about it, the lack of accessibility. The president is not available. He's absent. Most of these MPs cannot access him. And because the deputy president is readily available, he's been able to sort one of their few problems. In fact, someone, which a member of parliament, I think one of them was saying that in the first term, they were comfortable with William Ruto because anytime they went to the office with any issue, the deputy president would simply pick a phone call and those issues will be addressed. And even in the second term, it started like that. When it became very difficult to meet President Uhuru Kenyatta. President Uhuru Kenyatta was surrounded by a cartel, according to them. And because the deputy president was available and the president was absent, they started working closely and they formed friendship. And that friendship is the reason why most of them are actually supporting William Samoei Ruto. Let us wait and see how things are going to unfold, because the event in Nyeri is going to be significant as far as Central Kenya politics is concerned. Is President Uhuru Kenyatta finally going to succeed in taming William Samoei Ruto? Or is the deputy president going to resist those moves? Because remember, one thing has been happening in the larger Mount Kenya region. The allies of the deputy president have actually sponsored heckling. Alfred Mutua was heckled in Tharaka Nithi because the rally he was attending was announced before. Kalonzo Musyoka was heckled in Nyandarua and in Nyeri yesterday. Musalia Mudavadi, who has gone to Central Kenya twice unannounced, has never been heckled. And the heckling is actually strategic. You look at how Uhuru Kenyatta was heckled in Nairobi. It's purely strategic for those who understand politics. But let us see whether Uhuru is going to succeed in taming his deputy. But for now, I think he's late. Though he might succeed, but I think he's late. If you're watching this video for the first time, please take a second or two and click subscribe button so that next time you produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and please, you have a good day. Bye-bye.